When you think of fantasy, you may think of big, sprawling adventures like Lord of the Rings, for example. Or when it comes to anime, it is Frieren or Witch Hat Atelier. But there's a different type of anime that does a different type of fantasy. Delicious in Dungeon. They tackle, in my opinion, the best iteration of the Dungeons and Dragon tabletop game fantasy.
In a world full of snacks, facts, and fun, one guy presses record. It's Jakobi-Won on franchise!
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Today, 28 of Anime, which is the daily series here on the channel where we're going to be posting one video a day in the month of May to promote anime. So we're almost done, and I wanted to talk about the big three of fantasy today, but specifically the standout that I think is in that category, which is Delicious and Dungeon. I think this is a standout because it doesn't take the fantasy aspect of the big sprawling adventure. It takes the fantasy aspect and confines it to a dungeon crawler and a space of a dungeon, which I think is really interesting. And by doing so, it kind of replicates the D&D tabletop game format of fantasy. And I think this is the perfect iteration of Dungeons and Dragons in an anime format. And I just love it. The story is fantastic. The characters are great. I love the relationships the characters have. And the fact that the story goes from a nice, wholesome, innocent cooking anime where they cook dungeon monsters and eat them up on their adventures to kind of getting a dark twist to the story, leaving it off on a slight cliffhanger to where I'm very desperate for season 2. I'd love to get season 2 soon, but I heard they're announcing something about it shortly. So I'm excited for that, and I hope you all are excited for it as well. But I think what Delicious in Dungeon does well is that it does the fantasy aspect of it in a very specific way that's very intriguing and engaging, because it scratches that niche for anyone that plays Dungeons and Dragons, and it's just that great. First off, we have our party, our main characters, and all of them are unique in class and race, kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons game. And then they go off in the dungeon and they explore, they loot, they fight the bosses, and then go down to the next level. Sound familiar? It's just Dungeons and Dragons, but anime format. But I think with Dungeons and Dragons, Delicious in Dungeons, I think what Delicious in Dungeons does well is the fact that it takes respect and takes time to give you the mundane of the adventure. Because we don't just see our party go off adventuring and exploring the dungeon. No, a big of the focus of this anime is the fact that they get together, they kill the monsters, and they cook a meal together. And they make this meal from the monster parts that they received. And they actually make some pretty tasty looking meals that I'm pretty sure they followed real world recipes to make those meals, and they kind of look good. And I've been wanting to make some of those meals at some point because they just look that tasty. But the series doesn't diminish that. It kind of highlights that in a very great way, because that's where we get to see our characters as their true selves, sitting around the fire, cooking the meal together, and then eating it and sharing it together. Because I feel like that's an important part to understand in life, that life isn't truly all about the adventures. It's about who you share it with and the meals that you share with people while you're going out on these adventures. Because that is what makes it special. The people that you choose to share your time with and the people you care about to share a meal with are the ones that truly matter to you and the ones that you should stick around with. So that is the story and the message that I take away from Delicious and Dungeons, and I hope you understand that as well from this video. And if you liked what you've seen here, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you like Delicious and Dungeons and if you're excited for season 2. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so that you can be notified for any more future videos. And without further ado, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all next time.
Oh,